between 6 and 7 o'clock this morning, and then slowly spread from west to east across the tri-state, weakening as it did so. The last of that rain is pushing out to our southeast now. We are dry across the tri-state currently, but look closely, especially at southwest Indiana. We're actually seeing quite a few breaks in the clouds and getting some sunshine. That's not great news because that will help re-energize the atmosphere. Some of the models are showing we'll see more of that sunshine starting to break through as we go through this afternoon into this evening. If that actually happens, that would set us up for a better chance of severe storms. If we stay clouded over, though, these storms may not have enough energy to really keep going through the overnight hours tonight. So because we have had clouds and rain through the first part of the day, the second half of the day is really going to be the make or break for these thunderstorm chances. If we get sunshine and we heat things up and re-energize the atmosphere, we could certainly end up with some severe weather tonight. If we stay cloudy and cooler, they may just not have what they really need to kind of feed those thunderstorms. But we're going to prepare for the worst and hope for the best, as always. So if we do get some sunshine this afternoon and evening, then later tonight, mainly after 9 p.m., we would see another round of thunderstorms pushing into the tri-state. I still think the worst of it will be to our southwest, but a few strong to severe storms are certainly possible as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Then even as that starts to move out, we could see some additional thunderstorms pushing down from the north then very, very late tonight into early Thursday morning. But we're talking mainly before 7 a.m. So it would be very early on Thursday. Most of the day Thursday is actually trending dry, and we may even get some sunshine in here during the second half of the day, but I still wouldn't rule out a stray shower or maybe even a brief thunderstorm all the way through Thursday evening. It looks like any rain we get after 7 a.m. on Thursday, though, would be just some spotty showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, nothing severe. Then we really dry things out overnight Thursday night. So overnight tonight is where we have that storm threat. That level 2 risk has been expanded again. It just keeps inching farther to the northeast, right? So yesterday it was kind of right up to the edge of the tri-state, and then they've expanded it a couple counties farther to the northeast now. So essentially from Carmi down to Evansville, Owensboro, and then down into Ohio County, everyone to the southwest of there, including most of western Kentucky, is now sitting at a level 2 risk, and then the north and eastern end of the tri-state sitting at that level 1 still. Either way, though, one thing has not changed. We are not expecting widespread severe weather from this system, but a few strong to severe storms are certainly possible. I still think the best chance for severe weather is probably to our southwest, down closer to Paducah and stretching into the boot heel of Missouri. That's also where we will probably see some of the heaviest rain is to the southwest of the tri-state. But here at home, especially if those stronger storms push through parts of western Kentucky, you could still see some pretty impressive rainfall totals, and some of that rain may fall in a pretty short period of time. So if we get an inch or more of rain in just one night, sometimes that can lead to some flooding problems. So flooding and damaging winds are still the most likely threats with any storms we get tonight. So a lot of the rain tonight will probably be just rain and a few rumbles of thunder, non-severe. There is that chance, though, that some of these storms could be severe. And if that happens, it would most likely be because they are producing wind gusts that are strong enough to do some damage, maybe, knock branches out of trees or take down a whole tree, cause power outages, things like that. And or they would also be producing some torrential rain potentially. So that's the most likely threat. On the far end of things, though, another possibility is we could also see some hail or maybe even a tornado from these storm systems. The chances of that are low and are primarily on that southwestern end where we have that level 2 threat. But hail and even a tornado cannot be totally ruled out tonight, even though damaging winds and flooding are the more likely threats. I want to check in on the comments real quick, see if we have any questions before I move forward. Good afternoon, Laura, Cheyenne, Karen. Some people are saying we don't have sound. Okay, it's been fixed apparently. They're telling me in my ear. Okay, sorry, I was just now seeing all these comments. Oh, James says we got sound now. Okay. Okay, so yes, everybody, that has been corrected now. Good news there. Okay, Nancy, John, Zach asking again about the thunderstorm threat. And some people are asking specifically about how strong the winds will get. We really don't know. It depends on if those storms really have the energy that they need to work with to become severe tonight. If they do, a severe thunderstorm by definition has winds over 58 miles an hour. So you're talking about 60 to maybe even 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts if these storms really get going. Most of the storms will probably not be severe and would have winds less than that. But again, there is that isolated chance for severe weather, and if a severe storm were to occur, it would have winds of 60 to probably 70 mile an hour with it, which is why sometimes you end up with damage with winds moving that fast. I do want to give a quick mention of our temperatures because it's really not that warm out there right now, but we've been cloudy and kind of rainy for the whole first half of the day. Still sitting in the mid to upper 70s where it's clouded, but remember I pointed out southwest Indiana in particular has more sunshine starting to break through. We're starting to climb into the low to mid 80s there now, so we may continue to see our temperatures climb if we get more of that sunshine as the afternoon goes on. Our dew points are in the low 70s though, which means even though it's not very warm out there, it is very muggy, so it is very humid across the tri-state even though it's not very warm. So if we can get a little more heat in there to combine with that humidity, that would provide more energy for these storms later tonight. So again, a lot of this is going to come down to whether or not we get enough sunshine here over the next few hours. And the clouds are breaking up some. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. We're probably just going to have to wait and see how it plays out at this point. Overnight, temperatures don't go very far. We'll only fall a few degrees into the upper 60s to low 70s. We do have those scattered storms with an isolated chance of severe ones. Then tomorrow, some storms very early. Much of the day will be dry. In fact, I think we'll get some sunshine in the afternoon. Highs will be in the mid 80s on Thursday. Then a little warmer, mid to upper 80s Friday, Saturday. And then we really just kind of hover right along the average high there in those mid to upper 80s through the weekend and into the start of next week too. Lows running near to maybe slightly below average, sitting in the mid 60s for the most part through the next 7 days. Looking at the extended outlook beyond that, so this would be from Thursday, August 27th through the end of the month here. No real clear signal toward a drier or wetter than average weather pattern, but it does show a trend toward slightly above average temperatures for the end of the month. However, it seems like the dangerous heat is all going to stay to our southwest. So we may heat up a little bit, upper 80s to around 90 as we get toward the end of the month, but I doubt we'll see another heat wave like what we dealt with all last week. There's your 7-day forecast. Oh, I forgot to remove that alert day. That was for Wednesday into Thursday. So it's overnight tonight into Thursday morning is that first alert weather day. From Friday on, it really looks pretty quiet. We do have an isolated chance for a little bit of rain on Saturday, but I think many of us will stay dry. Similar story as we get into early next week, maybe some spotty rain chances, but a majority of us will probably stay dry then as well. Partly to mostly sunny with highs in the mid to upper 80s is pretty much the story from Friday onwards. So really we just have to get through tonight, and from that point on, it should be pretty quiet. For those of you who missed it, I do want to give a quick overview again of the timing. We are watching very closely for the potential for a little more sunshine as we go through the night tonight. Then those thunderstorms pushing in overnight and into very early on Thursday morning. Then it'll clear out of here pretty quickly as we get into the day on Thursday. Again, we are sitting right at the cusp of a level 1 to level 2 threat here in the tri-state. So isolated to scattered severe storms are possible, but widespread severe weather is still not expected. Flooding and damaging winds are the most likely threats here, but hail and even an isolated tornado cannot be totally ruled out. So be prepared for anything and make sure you have a way to receive warnings that's going to wake you up before going to bed tonight. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions in the comments, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll have another look at your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and I'll do another streaming show here tonight at 9. So we'll be bringing you updates as we're monitoring that sunshine and our chance of storms as we go through the rest of today and through the overnight hours as well. So thank you so much for tuning in to the 14 First Alert streaming show here at 2:30, and keep it tuned to 14 News for the rest of the night for those Alert Day updates.